Rolling on to talk NBA and the end of Inside the NBA on TNT with our buddy Charles Barkley. We were just talking Auburn football. He's got a bright orange Redmont vodka golf shirt on. That's Auburn orange, right, Charles? Is that Auburn orange?
Yes, sir. Hey, what were y'all talking about Auburn football?
Good story from Chris Lowe at ESPN.com. You know how people like Chris write the story and then somebody does a headline that makes you click on it, And it made me click on it on ESPN.com. It was one of the side pages that said it's now or never for Auburn. And that made me click on it. And then I read the story, and it's nothing like that. It's nothing like it's now or never for Auburn. A lot more positive inside the story.
Yeah, a lot of reporters, they hide behind I'm not even sure why you would write an article and not do the headline.
Yep.
To me, that sounds like you spend all that time writing an article. Why wouldn't you want your own headline? In my day, it was reporters was just trying to hide something. But I would never give anybody control. If I wrote an article, I'm going to put my name on it.
So I know you like Hugh Freeze. I think we all like Hugh Freeze. He's a likable guy. But going into year 3, and I know you're not a guy that likes to get coaches fired, 6 wins, 5 wins. What's your expectation, and what do you think Hugh needs to do to get this thing moving in the right direction?
Well, he's got to have a good year. I mean, it's that simple. He's got to have a good year. He can't go 6-5. They have to make the decision what's a good year or a great year, but we have to see something positive. And right now, the last 2 years have, last year we regressed. And, and listen, Alabama's not going anywhere. Georgia's not going anywhere. Tennessee's not going anywhere. We just going to play our behinds off. It's that simple.
Charles Barkley is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. Was the final NBA on TNT, did that have some of the same feelings as like your final game as a Houston Rocket, knowing your NBA career was coming to a close? I mean, I know they're not apples and apples there, but did it have some of the same feelings for you?
Well, I was fine. When Shaq made his speech, I was fine. When Kenny made his speech, I was fine. I made my speech, I was fine. I didn't get emotional, and I'm glad they didn't cut the camera. My eyes watered up. I was getting ready when Ernie started breaking down. That's the only time that I got emotional, because I think we all say we want to, but Ernie, man, he's really an emotional guy. He had me like, damn, Ernie, shut the hell up. Because I'm glad the camera didn't pan to me, because I had tears in my eyes.
I don't know if people know, though, that haven't worked in the industry, not that we've ever been as big as TNT, but how uncommon it is to have a show that becomes the family that you guys are. I mean, that is not a common thing, I don't think, Charles, on that level, is to have stars like yourself and Shaq and Kenny and Ernie, and then the behind-the-scenes people that nobody even knows, but it seems like you guys are just one big family. You told the story of somebody, they used to bring their kids up, and now their kids are bringing their kids up to see you, and they show you prom photos and things like that. That just seems uncommon at that level.
Yeah, you've been there. Ernie's been there like 38. I think Kenny's next at 27, 28, and I'm at 25, and Shaq's like 12, 13. It's so crazy. Like, they would bring their kids in when they were like newborns, and then the next time you see them, they love to come see us before the prom. They love to impress the prom dates. I want you guys to meet Kenny, Ernie, Shaq, and Chuck. And like they all come and hang out and say hello before they go to the prom. Then the next time you see them, they come in, they're graduating from college. I mean, it's been, a lot happens in 25 years. It's been a pleasure to work with these guys. And I've got to know them and their families really well. Ernie's had a rough, couple years. His couple of sisters died, his son died. And I hate going to funerals. I very seldom go to funerals. But, when his 2 sisters died, and his mom and dad died, and his son, and Shaq had a sister, we went to Kenny's mom's funeral. My mom passed away. They came to that, and my grandmother. So, yeah, man, it's a lot go into it. And the people behind the scenes, they're the most amazing, hardworking people.
I don't want to, tell too much, but I think the story is correct here. And I think you've said this publicly. You were going to go to NBC and you were going to make a lot of money. And then somebody sort of laid it out for you that you had enough pull that you could take care of the people in Atlanta behind the scenes. And that's when y'all decided to base the new show out of Atlanta. You sort of flexed your muscle a little bit, right?
Yeah, so this is supposed to be my last year. And I was hoping it was, to be honest with you. And I was like, because we had a deal. I was going to retire at 60. And they said, no, stay 2 more years until we get the new contract done. And I'm like, you know what? That's fair. And little did I know the idiots that I worked for were going to lose the NBA. And like, I was actually kind of in shock. I was like, you know what? I'm going to retire at the end of this year, pass it to Vince Carter or Jamal Crawford. Little did I know the idiots I worked for were going to lose the NBA. And it was crazy. And I met with Amazon. I met with NBC because we didn't know this thing, but with ESPN was even a conversation. And I was probably leaning toward NBC because the guy who actually run NBC is the guy who hired me here at Turner. So I liked him a lot. And Amazon was in the picture because they're in California and they're just a 30-minute flight from me or a 4 or 5 hour drive, which would have been great. And then all of a sudden this ESPN thing comes up and I was excited for the simple fact we could keep people working, which is my concern from the beginning. I really wanted to be like, you know what? I can keep these guys working. Let me see if this thing can work. And really, to be honest with you, I've been negotiating for the last 3 months because I'm not going to work more than I've been working. Nobody works more when they get older except an idiot or a fool. And I was like, so we've been negotiating for the last 3 months, and I actually just signed my deal in the last couple of weeks that I was going to stay. But I was like, hey, guys, I'm not going to be working a lot more because I know how ESPN is. They'll work you like a dog if you let them. So I'm like, and I had to sit down with Ernie. He's like, hey, give me a couple more years, just a couple more. And I said, Ernie, I'm gonna stay for 2 more years. And I said, TNT, I'm not staying longer. So I just signed a deal and I'm gonna be on TNT on ESPN for the next 2 years.
So great players typically are average analysts. Great analysts are normally average players. You've been able to do both, and you've won 5 Emmys. Going back when you start,
you sure about that?
Is it 6 Emmys now?
You sure about that?
Dunaway's got 2.
Is it 11? Is it 11 Emmys?
You're in front of Dunaway. He's got 2.
It's closer to double figures.
Okay.
Lance.
Okay.
Because I just won another one. I could just go over there and count them.
Yeah, you can just show us. My question was going to be, when you started this, obviously you've been entertaining in every realm you've ever entered, but did you ever foresee that you were going to get rich? Like, you had a great basketball career, but the money that you would make and even have more stardom on the other side of the court. Did you ever even envision that?
Great question. I know whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to be great at it. That's just the way I'm built. I want to be successful at whatever I do. That's just like, I want to be great at whatever. And because I want to pass that along to my daughter. My daughter she's amazing, and she went to Villanova and Columbia. She's a hard-working person. Shout out to my 2 grandkids, Henry and Charlie. Hey, little Charlie girl. But I demanded a lot out of her, and she see how hard I work. And so, yeah, Aunt Lance, I knew I was going to be good at it because I just believe in myself. to be honest with you.
So the NBA Finals do start tonight. We were going to talk to you. We were going to talk to you about that. I mean, it should be a fun finals, right, Charles? I mean, a lot of people make a big deal out of, oh, it's not the big media markets, but these were the two best teams of the postseason, were they not?
Well, not only that, these two teams have had the best record since January the 1st.
Yeah.
See, the Pacers got off to a bad start. They had a bunch of injuries, but these two teams have had the best record since, and that's not a small sample size. We're in June now. That's not a small sample size. So they have had the best record in NBA since January the 1st. It's going to be a good series. I don't think anybody can beat Oklahoma City 4 times. I don't see anybody. I've said that on the show. I don't see anybody beating them boys 4 times. Can somebody beat them 1 time? Somebody beat them 2 times? Maybe even 3 times. But I don't see anybody can beat them 4 times. I'd be totally surprised if they're not able to win this thing.
Would you, because I think it's going to be a sweep, but would you say better chance at sweep or going 7 games?
Sweep. I think it's a better chance of sweeping than going 7. I really do. I think the best in the case scenario, if somebody asked me to pick, the gentleman sweep, I think that to me is like, if I had to pick, I think it'll be a gentleman sweep.
Yeah.
The 4-1, win the first 2, win 1 in Indy, then wrap it up in 5. We call it a gentleman sweep. I think it's got a better chance of being that than anything else.
I'm interested in your thoughts on the New York Knicks job. Were you surprised that they made a change at the coaching position, and how attractive is that? And do you have any insight on who could be the coach? Would it be you? Would you like to coach the New York Knicks?
No, I would not like to coach the New York Knicks. I think, number one, everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked. I mean, they were better than last year, and they were 2 games away from the finals, and they got beat by a better team. So I think people were shocked. It's a really good job. Number one, it's the New York Knicks. And I'll tell you something. I hadn't been to a Knicks game. Number one, I don't go to games, to be honest with you, because I had my day, and it's best. I never go to NBA games. I just think I had my day, and I stay out of it. And I hadn't been to Madison Square Garden in a long time. And let me tell you something, man. It was on fire. We went there for 3 games. New York is a special place. And if you get a chance, especially when they got a good team, especially in the playoffs, if you get a chance to go up there one of these days, guys, it's incredible. It's the same way in Boston and Philly, LA. But Madison Square Garden, man, when they have a good team, it's pretty special.
Yeah, I saw, how people list candidates, and I saw a list of 7. I believe it was on Bleacher Report, and the 7th one was Chris Paul. And now I know he hasn't been coaching yet, but they used Jason Kidd as an example. You think CP3 could be a good coach someday?
I don't know the answer to that question, but he hasn't retired. He's still playing.
Yeah.
I think that Bill Russell was a player coach. I don't think they'll let you do that today. Chris Paul is one of my favorite players. It's a good job. I think you got to be really careful, though. I think you need somebody with some experience, because now with all that good stuff from New York, there's some bad stuff too now. If you coach that team, you better have it together, because it's not going to be easy. Because they just fired a guy who won 50 games back-to-back, who got to the conference finals this year and didn't last year. So he actually improved. So they didn't like him. And so it's a great job, but, man, it's a lot to go into it.
Were you the first NBA player to write off your NBA fines on your taxes?
I don't know the answer to that question. It's a great question. I hope so. Good smart move. I've been talking to my financial people, and apparently I got to start spending some money.
Yeah, I'll call you after the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got an
Hey,
idea.
Dunaway, this has been a great week for me because nobody has my private cell phone. My bodyguard got the jackass line, and there's nothing worse than I hate when people ask me for money because it happens like 24/7 every day. There's somebody like I care about their damn problems and stuff like that. I don't. But so my bodyguard, my security team got the jackass line. My phone hasn't rang all week except my grandkids.
Oof.
And I play golf every day. I got to go back into the fight next week because I got to go back and beat Charles Barkley. I got to do 2 games in Indianapolis for NBA TV. Shaq and Kenny are doing a game tonight and Sunday. But to go a day in my life and somebody don't ask me money is like hitting the lottery. Is like a miracle.
Wait, Barkley, are you telling me I've got the jackass line? Is that what you're telling me?
What do we text you on the
Don't
jackass?
don't I answer y'all call?
You do?
I've only been texting you.
Hey, if I text you back,
You do.
Yeah, you do.
if I don't ever answer the phone, you got the jackass line. Okay.
So
Okay.
you getting asked for money all the time. Is there ever, somebody that pitched you something and now you look back and you're like, damn, that was a great idea and it blew up and it actually made a lot of money? Like, you've obviously got a ton of cash, so it doesn't matter. But was there something that maybe you could have invested in that really blew up in a good way?
Well, so the way it works, my girl Christy, she runs my life. We probably, I got 2 great financial advisors, Scott in Birmingham, Scott Guthrie and Glenn Guthrie. They've been my guys for a long time. My attorney is Tom Sullivan. And I got a Damian Fishback is one of my advisors. And I have another one in Atlanta. They do a lot of due diligence. So I probably get 30, 40 bogus ass business opportunities a week.
Wow. God.
But they're only gonna bring me 5 worth listening to. Because most of them always start out, I got a way we can make a lot of money, which that's a red flag right there, which means if you can make a lot of money doing it, you wouldn't have bought it to me. Because what that means is you need my money and you don't care if you lose it, but you want to risk my money. I mean, because nobody says, I got a great idea, I want to share it. They would make the money themselves. But I hate when people bring me their personal problems asking me for money because they have zero idea. Because I think they think they're the only one. But it's probably 10 people a day ask me for money. And it really pisses me off and makes me mad. Because yo, man, I'm not an ATM. I'm sorry you're having problems. But it is not my job to pay all of your bills. That's the only time I get frustrated. That's why it's great. That's why I make it almost impossible for people to get in touch with me. So people say, man, somebody's trying to get in touch with you. I'm like, if I want to talk to them, they could get in touch with me. They're on that list that I don't want to talk to.
Got the jackass line.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to know we don't have the jackass number.
So
That's what I'm happy to know.
Oh man, you guys, y'all been cool. Y'all been cool a long time.
Yeah.
So if I had to choose between Bojangles and a Bud Light, I think I'm gonna go with Bud Light. So I need y'all to hook a brother up.
It's a good combination, though.
Yeah.
We will get you all the Bud Light you want,
Yeah.
and I will
Hey,
bring.
you
I'll
can
bring
go-
you.
you can-
I'll
It ain't
bring
gonna
you.
go bad.
I'll bring you my business opportunity. I'll start off by saying, "Hey, I know you need to lose some money for tax write-offs. Or do I have a plan for you?"
Hey, you know what's so crazy? I was working on my daughter's prenup because she's gonna get all this money one day. And they were telling me how much money she's gonna have to pay in taxes. I'm like, excuse me, haven't I already paid taxes?
Bingo.
So
And
ridiculous.
they're like, Charles, you don't have any idea how crooked our government is. They get you, so you have to pay taxes twice if you
Yep.
got a lot of money. I was like, they're like, yeah, our government, they're full of it. They tax it when you got paid. And then another thing they do, when you play in the NBA, they tax you in every state you play in.
Yep.
And now they taxing you when you kill over. I says, no wonder people hate the government.
So can I ask you 2 gambling questions? Did you have the Oilers in game 1 last night? And second part, what is the most money you have lost or won on one putt on the golf course?
Well, I got the Oilers in the series for a big number,
I figured.
and I had the Oilers in game one.
Oof.
And let me tell you something. The first 5 to 7 minutes of overtime, I was sweating bullets because Florida was coming the first 5 to 7 minutes. And then finally we got the power play at the end of the first overtime. And McDavid to Draisaitl. Oh my God, that was a thing of beauty. But I got the Oilers winning the whole thing. But I bet big. I bet big on the Oilers to win the series, and I put a pretty good chunk on them winning that game last night.
Yeah, 76.5% game one winners go on to win the series. So the odds are in your favor.
Well, that means absolutely nothing, Ernie. Acting like Ernie, throwing those useless stats out there. So you said 30%. So that's, what about the 30%? So no, Lance. I think the most I played with Tiger quite a bit back in the day. We play $1,000 a hole. He give me a shot a hole, but because you can't get more than a shot a hole. If you need more than one shot a hole, you should try to play like pickleball or something. No grown ass man can take. I don't care who. Like when I played with Phil Mickelson, because his wife danced for the Suns. When I played there, like he says, well, I'm like a plus something. I saw Scotty Scheffler. Excuse me, guys. My allergies are heavy. I saw Scotty Scheffler was talking last week about playing with his friends. He's like, "Well, I have to get these guys a lot of shots. I'm like a +7." And I was thinking, he must have some loser friends. You cannot ask for more than a shot a hole. Come on, man.
But if you're playing 1,000 a hole and you start pressing and you guys start carrying over, how big does that number get?
I don't do all that. And all I got to do is make 7 to 8 pars. And, you're going to lose to Tiger more than likely. Back in the day, he was going to, because he's going to birdie all the par fives. All you got to do is make 7 to 10 pars, and you're going to lose $5,000. And that's not a lot of money, but you're playing with the GOAT. So it's it was cool.
Yeah. I saw that about Scotty. He was talking about he's got to give some guys 2 shots a hole back home.
Yeah.
And I was like,
hey, listen, you need 2 shots a hole. You need to try like pickleball or some bowling.
I don't know how you look in the mirror taking 2 shots a hole. That's tough.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. You cannot take 2 shots. Come on, man.
I mean, that's birdie
that
bogey. I mean, that's crazy.
That's a lot, man. All right, the great Charles Barkley. Always fun, Chuck. We greatly appreciate the time, buddy.
Okay, brother. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Y'all be safe out there. And wear a damn eagle.